My name is Van Johnson. My age is 52. Uh, Today's date is December 9th, 2016. Location in Palmetto. And the relationship is my friend. My mom told me to go to the service because it's a great way to start. So I was I was stationed in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and I continue to Aberdeen Proving Grounds in Maryland. And my first duty assignment was Fort Hood, Texas. And I was a power to utility equipment repairman. And I had a great military career. And then I was taken in Nuremberg, Germany for my second utilization in a 317 maintenance company. And I was first assigned to first forward support group in Fort Hood, Texas. And later I was reassigned to Germany for the 317 maintenance company. And I had ordered to go to war in the Gulf War. Oh, war Israel. And I was assigned to be the railroad NCOIC for Thanksgiving. It was cold and snowing. And we had Thanksgiving with a sardine patty. My first Thanksgiving with my family. So I was had a flight to Kuwait in December the 14th. I can remember when it was a long flight from Nuremberg, Germany, way across the Texas, we had over 325 soldiers in a big unit. And we 6 months later, the war ended. I was crying because I survived. And I was the first way to go to the desert and the first way to go home. And then I went assigned to Fort Ord, California. And I was trying to go to Warrant Officer Academy, and then I ruptured my Achilles tendon, so I was not deployable. So I was medically retirement. It was great. I thought I would continue to go to Warrant Officer Academy, but it's okay. To duty, the people, the honor of being in the military.
What were your primary duties?
Oh, wow. My primary duty was a squad leader first, and a leader of platoon sergeant. Um, um, when Fort Ord is closed, I continue to work in the orderly room to account for the people to reassign or order to ETS.
How many years did you spend in the military, Van?
15 years.
And why did you leave the military?
Because I had ruptured my Achilles tendons, so that made me not be portable.
And did you do that when you were on active duty?
Yes, yes.
Were you in the States or somewhere else?
States in California.
Okay. And then I know you had an interesting life after the military.
Yes, yes. I continue my continuing repair run, but now I decided, all my family decided to do from California to Georgia. That's where my trade was successful. We were all blessed. And I first was working for Margaret, and then I was changed to Valentine service experts. So I was continue to learn, and I continue to do my AC trade all along.
I know you're a patriot, but also sort of tell us and tell the audience about what happened to you, which was changed your life completely.
Yes. One day, I forgot to take my blood pressure medicine, and I was found unconscious, and they take me to Pima Federal Hospital. My Valentine for 484 over 272. They airlift me to Emory Hospital. That's what I continue my treatment. My daughter said I passed away 5 times. Hallelujah. And when I woke up, I cannot walk and I cannot talk. So I continue to do my rehab in Emory. He had to lift me up with a entrapment and a wheelchair me to the orderly room in the hospital to hear the conversation. Oh wow. And I was so blessed to wake up, so they had to continue to take care of me in the Emory Hospital. So after I left the Emory Hospital, I was assigned to a rehab center to Renaissance Center in freaking Griffin, Georgia for 18 months. So I continued to rehab speech, communications, and walking every day except Sunday.
One thing you need to make a little clearer is how long was it from the time you were found until you woke up?
6 months.
And how many times did you pass away?
5 times. my daughter said 5 times. I remember that same picture that they took of me with a pros going to my front head and my rear head to drain the blood. My weight was 297 pounds. And my weight now on 217 pounds. Hallelujah. Live and learn. That's what I say. No longer I eat meat, but I had a little meat, a whole lot of veggies, and a whole lot of fruit. I was considered a diabetic. No longer I am a diabetic because I would control my eating habits.
Talk a little bit about your family.
It is what is for God, holy, and my wife. She prayed and prayed. She lived. She stayed with me, and my daughter, baby. My daughter and my wife and my son is very special to me. Without them, and or without the Heavenly Father, Lord knows.
Was there any change in your disposition before and after your...
Yes. Before I was active in sports, but now I was no sports at all.
And when you came here, what were you able to do?
I was came in a wheelchair.
And now you're, sort of tell me what you do in the mornings here, and a little bit about that aspect of your...
In the morning? Oh, no. At nighttime, the first place where I was in Stone Mountain. It's called Divine Church. I was doing taught out at Fritz's Squats Monday to Friday, and when I came here, I started doing 75 squats in a 65 sit-ups Monday through Friday, and I continue my squats to increase my stride and increase my the conditioning. So I am improving, but I'll have a long way to go, a long way to go.
I know you have some strong feelings about your military service. Do you engaged in any live combat?
Yes. One day, I took a course in nuclear MEC course, nuclear biological and chemical course for 3 months. So I was assistant MEC engineer, NCO. I was assigned to take roll call all the chemical alarms, east and west or north and south, roll call. It was tough. When I completed the assignment, I was so tired from roll calling. That was the ultimate experience. So the 16th January we start combat. Oh. I say again, war is hell. I saw so many bodies, burned bodies, friends, was in a minute. And I remember the first taste that thing that came to our perimeter. I was in gardening, and I said, how to go there? It was my commander. I said, Captain Lemby, what are you doing? Sergeant Johnson. You had that was a funny experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I was assigned to the neutral zone to read chemical alarms. And one day, our truck was in a landmine for nerve gas. We got stuck. I radio in, I'm stuck. Me and Private Knight is stuck. I need to recovery. So we waited for 1.5 hours for recovery. They recovered our 2.5-ton truck to be free. I was so happy. Me and Private Knight were so glad because we were in a nerve agent nerve. They marked the nerve agent with yellow because we was in a high level concentrated area.
Now this occurred where?
In neutral zone. Neutral zone.
The neutral zone in
Yes.
which war?
Iraq.
In Iraq?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, did you make any close friends in the military?
Yes, a whole lot of friends. But I relocated to Georgia.
So you've not kept up with
Nope.
them? Okay. Well, how's the food? I know you like food.
Yeah, Maurice. I was assigned to beans, bullet is what with beans, class A rations, class B rations, and class C rations. Beans, what price there? Beans, buck wipes, and ammo. No. Sour point.
Okay.
Beans, buck white, and sour point. So I was in charge of all the necessary items in the military.
Were there any memorable occasions that just come to you when you began to talk about the war?
I recall the only memorable case was the Thanksgiving that I spent with my family over Sergeant Petty's house.
This was after, or did you completed all of your duty when you had?
No, I completed the railroad.
Mm-hmm.
because I was in COIC on the railroad. We had over 300 trucks and tanks from from Bremer, Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and we convoy to Sergeant Petty's house to Thanksgiving with my family, my daughter and my wife.
And how far did you travel to be with him on that occasion?
3.5 hours.
Wow. Wow. Well, did in your time in the military, did anybody come and entertain you all? Did y'all have any kind of USO entertainment or anything?
Yes, we had a bunch of movies
Mm-hmm.
on the in the Iraq and Kuwait. But I was when I was in Germany, I was a soundman for the jam band, a soul group, soul group, also an R&B group. I was a soundman for the 1 year, and then I was ordered to go to combat.
And when sound man meant that was what you did all the time?
Yes, yes.
And
Cook up and tear down the sound equipment.
did you did you enjoy being a sound man better than you did combat?
By far, by far.
Well, how much combat did you see? Did you see a lot?
Yes. Intermittently. Sometimes it was hard to go to sleep. Sometimes it was easy to go to sleep.
And why?
Because I don't know what it enemy's tracks.
So you could hear
Yes.
explosions?
Yes, a whole lot of explosion. But when the war was over, I slept sound.
Yeah, did you have any post-traumatic stress syndrome?
Yes, PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this again, my wife and my daughter and my son had a hard time with me. And I am blessed to have my stroke because I am cured from PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Hallelujah.
So you don't have to take any kind of medication for any of that now?
Nope.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, did you keep a diary or a count of events during that time that you were in the military?
No, but I have binder on my accomplishment in my room.
So you have your documents and your medals and things of that nature?
My medals is, I have some medals in my room, but some certificate from my room, in a binder.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in the basic training, I was a posture. I was 6'1" for 165 weight. I was a middleweight contender, and I lost in a machine smoker.
So you boxed?
Yes.
And did that in the military?
Yes, but when I was assigned to Fort Hood, Texas, my first general session, my wife told me, Van, no more boxing. I said, okay.
Sound like she tried to twist your arm.
I told you, you did a boss.
So it was okay, honey, to get out of that. Well,
because Fort Hood was known for many pastors.
now, did you get special privileges because you boxed? You found a way to do that everywhere, haven't you? Well, what were some of the toughest things about the military for you?
Oh,
Was it tough being away from home?
yes, but I kind of go through that, but it was tough in LA because of the gangs.
As a child, you're talking about?
Yes, yes.
Tell us, talk a little bit about your.
Because you were no longer wearing blue and red. Red represent blood, and blue represented the cuz came. So you were not, when you were the cars, you got jumped. So I didn't wear any colors other gangs there. And although also the oh wow, the make it not Latinos were considered blue in the African American with killings considered the bloods was tough and wow.
You must have had a good mother.
Yes, yes.
She kept, how many siblings?
One, my sister and me.
Now, is your mom still living?
No, she died at the age of 49.
Okay.
She was a heavy alcoholic.
Why she? How about your sister? She's still living?
Yes. Also, my sister was every drinker.
Did you feel that you had any difficulty because of being raised by an alcoholic mother? Okay. You're saying no.
No.
The recorder's got to hear yes or no.
No.
Okay. What are your plans now? What was it like the day that you got out of the military?
It was. I was happy because I completed my assignment because now I am retired, but I must continue my trade. So we talked about moving to Southern California, to Calipatria, California, or Georgia, because Calipatria has they trade what I was fitted at, but we decided to move here because my trade was successful.
Did you have family here as a reason, or just because of the fact that you were in the air conditioning business?
We started to move all of my family because we were considered the head of our family.
Well, are there events when you talk about your military service that just stand out as something you just love to talk about?
Yes, yes. But I was many of the events was that I attended. One is soldier of the month, soldier of the quarter, soldier of the year, engineer of the quarter, engineer of the month, and and all sports, football, basketball, and when I was in Germany, I played for the community soccer and the community basketball team, and we were community champions in Germany, the 7th Corps. And when I won the champions, a year later we were assigned to Iraq or the two Iraq. I said to them, and I thought I was the only boy, and that my mother called me and said, Bobby had a son called Bobby Johnson Jr. I said, oh heck. So I will have to go.
So that was a special.
Yes, yes, yes.
You tell me a little about the regional training site in Monterey?
Maintenance.
Regional training site maintenance at Fort Dix, at Fort Hood. The maintenance sites, can you talk about those? You remember those?
Yes.
Okay.
I was in NGOIC of the Indian Engineer Department. So I knew the technical manual by heart. I know how the maintenance all around the area because they send me from place to place. I was recommended to, when I was in Germany, to go to sites to base to repair the engineer equipment. So when I was at Fort Ord, California, the sergeant major told the next sergeant major that you have an NCO to know his job. So I continue to work from sites to sites, all the equipment around Fort Ord, California.
So you're saying to me that all of the you had to know the manuals and all that?
Yes.
And how difficult was that to learn?
It took me about 10 years to learn all the equipment the military has in inventory. So that's why they recommend me to go to Warrant Officer Academy. So I had orders to go to Aberdeen, back to Aberdeen, Prairie Crowns, Maryland, to to continue my my last student assignment. So I was trying to increase my PT score. That was 270. The highest to go to is 300. 70 push-ups, 77 sit-ups into Mount 1 in 14 minutes. So I was training hard, very hard. So one day I was to the gyms. Something happened to my leg. I said, oh wow. I think I hurt. I left on the locker room and I cannot get up for my right leg because I was to the hospital and they tell me I ruptured my Achilles tendon. So they said with my injury, I am no longer stable and I cannot continue my one author academy. So they recommended me to have an early retirement.
Okay, how, now, of the numbers of years you served, 15 in the military, how many of those were in combat years? How much time were you in?
6 months.
You were
Yes,
6
yes.
months in combat, and
Yes.
that was enough?
Yes. Oh, yes, enough.
And when it came, how long did it take from the time of your injury to get retired?
For 4 months. 4 months.
And was there a special ceremony at your retirement?
Yes. My wife came to my retirement ceremony. It was I was how can I say this? I was happy but I was somewhat sad because I wanted to go or continue my military career, but it's okay. I was happy, and my wife cried.
And how soon, once you got out of the military, you started your air conditioning business?
2 months.
2 months. So you didn't take much time off?
No.
You got busy and got to work. Are there lessons out of the military that you've been able to apply to life beyond the military?
Yes. One, I remain disciplined. Two, I remain honest, and my conduct is superior when I got out. I said this again when I got out. My trick, I continue to be more focused on my family and my daughter and my son, because we have learned the family is a most important of the afterlife of the military career. So I continue to honor my wife and honor my children because the family is most important to the military careers.
If you were to give a statement to younger people of what you've learned in life, what would be a statement that you would make to them?
First of all, have faith in God. Must faith in God, because in prayer changes things, even me, because I was in a coma for 6 months, but the Heavenly Father brought me through. Some people say when they came to my room, I was smiling because the Lord gave me another chance to live my life. So I will continue to be faithful to the Lord and to Jesus Christ. No doubt about it.
Well, I know that we all say thank you for your service to our country, and thank you for the joy that you bring to so many other people out of that experience in life. We do appreciate your time today and giving us the opportunity to record this.
Okay.
The reason I put on there about the regional training site for maintenance
Yes.
was I was the one that created those things when I was in the Department of Army.
How about that?
Put together a budget for 18 of them, half in the Guard and half in the Reserve, $460 million to get them started for 10 years.
Did you do a good job, man?
May I shake your hand?
It's amazing to be able to encounter somebody who had preceded you.
And I
Small world.
tell you this, God is good.
I tell you, I'm very fortunate to be able to have done it.
Thank you.
Because very few, a lot of people I talk with have ran across the regional training sites for maintenance.
Yes.
And they're a good thing because back at that time, 82 and 83, when I set them up,
Yes.
the reserve would go to a unit or a guard would go to a post. The active army wouldn't let them touch their equipment. They'd just be bored for 2 weeks.
Oh.
So this allowed them to have sites where they could come in and train. A story about a guy who was 93 years old. I asked him what was his success. He said, I read things other people don't read. I think about things other people don't think about. And I do things that other people don't do. And the regional training site was one of those things in my life because I read about a unit
Good stuff.
coming down to Aberdeen to train for 2 weeks. And I thought, why in the world can't we have regional sites around? And I staffed it. We went to Camp Shelby, Mississippi, where we set up the first one.
Okay.
And got the engineers there to design the floor plan for those things.
Wow.
And we held a meeting.
In the flesh.
We had a meeting of maintenance NCOs from eastern Texas, western Alabama, and Mississippi come in there that day, 150 people in that auditorium. And I stood up there and told them all about the program and how it was going to work. They wanted to start the next day. I mean, they were impatient.
Wow.
And it just sold the program. Then I had to go back and
That's tough.
I don't know if you ever heard of General Maxwell Thurman.
Yes.
He was something on wheels, you know.
Yes. Hello, wheels. Yes.
And he was chief of staff of the Army, and I had to brief him. And what they did, they made what they call saddle blankets.
Okay.
Papers like this with all kinds of diagrams on it. I had 3 of them integrated into the maintenance school's list of sheets of paper, and I had to walk up there. I was supposed to have 10 minutes before I went up there, and I told them, before I went up there, they told me I had 5 minutes. I never talked so fast in my life. Pointing those things out, flipping the page, pointing out. The last one is, should we do it? And he said, let's do it.
Okay.